Hi, Emily.
Hi, all right.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm just going to ask you some questions for International Women's Day. So, if we start with whether you would like to tell me a little bit about yourself and your job title and the company that you work for.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am Emily. I'm the Youth Development Manager for the Woodland Trust, working on the Young People's Forest at Mead. It's my job to create opportunities for young people to be involved in creating the UK's first Young People's Forest, and for them to be involved in the fight against climate change in ways that are meaningful to young people. My role's really varied, and I get to do all sorts of things, from planting trees with our young volunteers or planning and hosting events, through to creating and delivering training to help my colleagues also work with young people. I really love my job.
That's brilliant. What skills and mindset did your college or education give you to be able to do your job?
Well, I've had a great education. I didn't discover that I was dyslexic until I was 19 and studying Art Foundation at Derby College. And I think at that point, I'd found the tools already that I needed in order to access the subjects that I felt best suited to and particularly enjoyed. And that diagnosis made me realise that I could achieve a lot just by pushing for what I really want to do. So it helped me to realise that the more I push for, the more I can achieve. I took a great deal from my teachers and lecturers as well, by learning not only the subjects that they taught, but from the way in which they taught. The great teachers stick with you, and I think that's really influenced the way I work now.
That's great, so true. What was your career journey?
It's quite varied. So thinking way back to when I was at school, I had a part-time job in a bakery and cafe. And I didn't realise at the time, but I actually gained a lot from the repeated, relatively small increases in responsibility that they gave to me. During my time at school as well, in the holidays, I used to volunteer with a local charity that provided respite care for young people, where we took them on days out. And it was all sorts of fun activities and things that we did. But I think that was probably my first taste of working to provide opportunities for others, and I'm really glad that I did it. After uni, I became an educational support worker at Derby College, and it was a great job because I got to learn so many interesting subjects that I'd never studied myself, but without the exams or coursework. But more importantly, I got to work with loads of really incredible young people. I learned a lot about learning difficulties, disabilities, and the barriers that people have to learning, and it reignited my passion to create opportunities for young people. That led me to completing my PGCE and starting some part-time teaching alongside my support work. That job was only term time, so I spent my summers working on the NCS programme, which was where I was first responsible for a group of young people. And it made me really proud to see that team develop in a variety of ways over such a short period of time. So after 2 summers of working on NCS with teams, I began working on the programme full time to deliver different opportunities for more young people. But after a year in a great team on NCS in Derby, I became the project manager of an NCS programme delivering to, I think it was 300 and something young people in my first season as a team of 1. My team thankfully doubled in size, so we became a team of 2, and I had a fantastic colleague that I got to work with throughout the rest of that programme. We used to regularly recruit more than 60 seasonal staff for each programme that we delivered, and we were really proud that a lot of the young people that we'd worked with came back to join us as staff. There are loads of things from that programme though that I was really proud of. I progressed from that job to become the Curriculum and Partnership Manager for an NCS provider that delivered to over 5,000 young people during the summer, and I jumped at every opportunity that role gave me. It meant not only did I get to work across different departments within the organisation I worked for, but I got to work with a lot of different organisations too, including the company that oversaw the programme on a national level. So it was really great to get involved and try out different things with all those different organisations. But after 7 years of working on the NCS programme, I was ready for a change and wanted to work in a role where I could create new opportunities for young people in a sector that I could be really proud to work for. So the Woodland Trust was a perfect fit for me.
Brilliant. What would you say that International Women's Day means to you?
I think I've been extremely fortunate in the fact that I've been able to progress into multiple management roles without ever feeling as though my gender has held me back or really been a factor at all. I know that hasn't always been the case, and looking back through history, it wouldn't have always been possible for me to do the jobs that I've done. I know that in some sectors and in some parts of even just within the country that that's still not the case. So to me, International Women's Day is a day to be thankful for those that have fought to get us to where we are now and to stand up to continue pursuing those equal opportunities. I've had the honour of working with thousands of young people throughout my career, and there is no way on earth that I think gender should prevent any of them from achieving their full potential.
What would you say is a challenge that you've had to overcome within your career journey?
I think for me it's been an internal challenge. So my degree was in photographic practice, and I went on to complete my PGCE, both of which obviously mean I'll be paying off my student loan for quite some time yet. But I've found myself not actually wanting to pursue a career directly linked to either of them. And I suppose that made me feel quite guilty at times. But in reality, it was a combination of doing those two different courses that's helped me discover what I really wanted to do. And I've picked up so many skills that I use all the time in my working life from them. So it's been great to have those qualifications, not only because of what I have gained, but also to know that I've got opportunities in the future. But I think that was my biggest challenge, feeling comfortable with moving away from a career I probably worked towards so far.
Mm-hmm. What would you say has been your biggest accomplishment within your role?
At the Woodland Trust, although there's been work carried out with young people for quite a long time, the project I'm working on is the first time that work's been carried out directly with young people, and more significantly, the first time that young people have been given control or power to make a huge host of decisions, and really significant decisions as well. I think my biggest accomplishment has to be the fact that we've developed our youth forum, which is a group of 16 to 20-year-olds who are really the decision-making board of the project. The forum started in a brief window between a couple of lockdowns last year, and the small group have been working predominantly on Zoom. But in the time that we've been together, they've worked on multiple aspects to determine the direction of the project, including how the forum itself will be delivered. They're a great group, and they've shown already that they're able to accomplish a great deal. So I guess it's probably a strange accomplishment on my behalf, really, to be proud, for me to be proud of the forum in terms of my input, because it's really their input that I'm proud of. So it's an opportunity to see what they've done, and all I've really contributed is bringing them together and providing them with some opportunities to take the lead.
Mm-hmm. That's great. If you could talk to your younger self, what advice would you give to them?
I think I'd probably say all the usual stuff about encouraging them to pursue what makes them happy, because enjoying your job really does make a huge difference and stops it feeling like hard work. But I'd also encourage them to keep a record of it all. There's so many things that I've done throughout my career that I remember because of photos or from chatting with former colleagues, and it makes me realise that there are probably a lot more amazing moments that weren't recorded, and I just hope I remember them all at some point, because looking back on those great moments can give you a real boost and help you to decide what you want to do moving forwards.
That's so true. Thank you very much, Emily, for joining us and for chatting to us a bit about you and your career and International Women's Day. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.